What's going on? Welcome to our slice of life here in Germany. Germany, you say? Yes, Germany. So we're a couple of Americans. We came to Germany for work, and rather than rent, we bought a farm. So this is our adventures of doing a little bit of like the, homesteading, off-gridding thing. So, last installment we were talking about, how, unfortunately our animals don't get to live forever. And so we have the border collie. He's still with us for right now. He's not doing any better. I don't expect him to get better. I know it's just downhill from here. But we're going to get tangled up in a bunch of electrical and getting lines finished up and getting us some power down here to the greenhouse for Mama. Getting us some good solid power here in the lower barn. And so that's going to require us finishing up that wiring that you saw when I started that box down here in the lower barn. So we're going to get it complete. We're going to get it from end to end. We're going to make sure that everything's solid and it's hooked up to the main breaker box up in the house. And that's going to allow us to move some stuff around. We're going to have to move the that little add-on party room. We call it our party room. We got to move that off the circuit and move it onto its own circuit. Well, a shared circuit with the back barn, so that everything down here is on its own run. It comes through a set of buses from the mains and down to a sub box. So it'll be 100%. All right, y'all. So let's get going on doing some stuff in the basement, because that's where we got to start out. In previous installments, we got it all up to here, and then we got the one that goes down and is actually in the ground and goes to the house. So we're getting near where I need to get this up and running, because it'll allow me to have internet down there, because you can use these power line adapters from this one company and it gets your stuff in there. Sorry about the lighting. I need to grab some stuff back here. And it allows you to use an outlet to transmit your internet to another area. And we have that balcony solar back there, and we have no internet connection to it, so I really can't monitor it. So one of the things we need to do is get a solid power line down there, and this is the way we're going to do it. So right now what I'm going to do is I'm going to join these two. This is going to go over to the compressor. I'm not ready for that because there's, an outlet. Everything's got to be strung and all that. But I am concerned with getting that power hooked up, because I have an EV, and it allows me to hook up a larger charging station that I can power with 243 phase and charge my car in like an hour and a half. So we want to do that too. So with that said, we got to put this together. All right, now that we got these connections done, so I'm using, and there's many opinions on this. I'm using Wago connectors, or Vago. It allows me to come back later and add that third wire for the compressor that goes out to the compressor. They are rated for 16 amps, so we're good there. I think they're actually rated for more than that. Let's read the back. They're actually rated for 32 amps. So, we're not going anywhere near that. We're going to be in about the I think when I'm doing 240 volt charging on my car, or, the 3-phase, I think we're near six amps on a line, something like that. So we're good there. And even if I'm using the compressor itself is only 3 amps, 3-phase. I think it's 3 amps on each phase. So even if I had both running at the same time, we're nowhere near 32. We're actually nowhere near 16, which is going to be the rating on the breaker anyway. So, all right. Now that that's done, we got to go to the basement. And in the basement, we got to do the conduit on the ceiling. We got to do the connection at the wall for the earth cable that comes through the earth, of course. And then it's got to get hooked up to the actual power panel. So, yeah. Well, let's move on. All right, so here we are in the basement. And in a previous installment, I put all these lights here on the ceiling. So we have plenty of nice light to work by, so it's kind of overpowering. But here's the earth cable coming in. You can see it goes through the wall, out the box. It goes all the way out to that garage. So we need to connect that to this cable that goes up to the main box. So we need to do some conduit across the ceiling. And here in Europe, it's a little different. The wire is, you can put it in the conduit and it's allowed to have open areas in the conduit, just like this right here. So that makes it a little easier, because what we're gonna do is we're gonna bring it right alongside this one and then run it straight over to the box. And we're gonna drop it in this fitting here, in this this rubber bushing. So first things first, I gotta get some tools, and we got to kind of lay this out, because I might have to open this up and cut this so I can slide it. I don't know. What I am thinking of doing is just shooting the wire over the top. We'll see. But yeah, let me go get the impact drill, because we got to drill some holes in cement. And yeah. All right, y'all, got all kinds of tools with me. And what I think we're gonna do, well, what we have to do first is mark the layout. And then once I mark the layout, I'll unplug these lights. And the good thing is we're right here. So I can just unhook the wire real quick, slip the tube off, trim it up, and slip the tube back on. But I gotta know where we're gonna trim the tube. So yeah, we'll time lapse this and have at it. All right, y'all, we got it all marked out, got it figured out. And now I'll have to drill the series of holes for the brackets for the conduit. And then what I'll do is I'll pull the wire through the last pieces of conduit and attach it over there, so that we end up with the most wire up on the top, because this wire is very expensive. It is 4mm by 5, and yeah, so it was quite expensive. Yeah, so what we'll do is we're gonna drill the holes, we're gonna put the clamps up, we're gonna slip this wire through the conduit, get it all squared away, and start pulling it this way and get all of it up in the thing. We're gonna do this all in one time lapse, so away we go. All right, y'all, so we got the cable in the conduit. We got it all here in the box. We haven't connected it yet. We're getting there. But like I was saying, this is how much extra cable I have. So I have to go upstairs and have the wife go into the electrical box and pull while I push it up to her, and we'll get this all squared away. All right, y'all, we got it pulled. So it wasn't easy, hence the deep breathing, or the heavy breathing, I should say. So it comes across and up there. So I think we ended up with six or 8 feet at least of excess. So yeah, now I just got to terminate here, and then the last bit is up in the electrical box. All right, so we got the connections made, and I left a little extra on the run that comes through the ground, you know, the earth cable, because you never know if you have to, you know, fix a connection or whatever. So there's a little bit extra on there, as you saw in the video. And the other one that just runs across the ceiling. I mean, it goes from the box across the ceiling, so that we can always just pull a new one in. The earth cable, yeah, that run is you know, it's in the ground, so yeah, we don't want to have a problem there. But we got that done. Now all that's left is up top in the electrical box. So yeah. All right, y'all, so part of hooking up the power on that box down in the bottom is we have to go ahead and move the power that powers this room, because where we're going to hook up the power in the main box, it will have its own dedicated circuit for over there, and then make a dedicated circuit for everything over here. Right now they're kind of mixed, so part of that means I have to move this cable that, if you watched in one of the renovation videos, I cut it with the grinder when I was getting this water set up. So you can see right here where it's all connected. This is the actual wire that comes here that we got to move. And what we got to do is we got to move it to this big 10mm wire that goes back to the stall, that the only thing I have 10mm square wire powering is lights. And they're not big lights. It's like 6 fluorescent lights. So it's way overkill, like way overkill. Like I could power 1,000 fluorescent lights off of a 10mm cable, because the 10mm cable can carry 32 amps like quite easily. So anyway, what we're going to do is we're going to tap that wire. We're going to move the wire for this room onto that circuit, because then everything that goes that way is on one circuit, or not one circuit, but one part of the distribution box. Then everything that goes that way and out to the workshop and everything is on another circuit. And then there's only one other circuit in there, and that's the actual house. So there's 3 sets of buses in this power distribution box. So I have a set of 50 amp buses that feed the 10mm wire. I have a set of 16 amp buses that feed this wire that's going over to the party room behind me. And the power that was down the bottom was actually piggybacked on that wire, the wire that feeds this room currently. So with that said, we're going to move this wire, but that involves me taking this, and I'm sorry about the little waves on it for the lights syncing up. This wire, where it comes out of the wall, needs to go straight up. And then in there, go across, And then, of course, on the other side of that beam is where it can hook up. But that's where we're at. So we're going to be without power in this room for, I don't know, however long it takes me to get the wire strung through. And then to that box right there. So it's, yeah, we're getting it cleaned up, and it's getting so much better electrical wise, because we are eliminating all of this shared neutral ground garbage that they used to do back in the day. They wouldn't run a ground out to anywhere, or they wouldn't run a neutral. They'd use the neutral and the ground as the same. So we're eliminating all that, and getting down to having a neutral wire go all the way to the main breaker box, and all the grounds going to the main breaker box, where of course there's the neutral ground bond in the breaker box, in the main box. So now I got to see if I can delicately extract that block, so that that wire can go straight up. And of course later on we're going to have to groove the wall right there, like right above it, so that it's flushing inside the wall. And then this wire that you see going around, that's going to go away, because it's actually going to be up inside the ceiling. So yeah, this is all part of the renovation, because of course we got to get stuff moved around, right? So in getting it done proper, you have us, bringing new power down to the lower barn. You have us bringing, of course, this power cable around and putting it on a ginormous circuit. Yeah. So we're getting it back, the way it needs to be for us to move forward with the renovation and make sure everything is done proper. So yeah, I'm gonna put you on a time lapse while I mess with this, and we'll have fun with that. All right, y'all. So we're back. It's a day or two later. Yeah, two things. So finally got that electrical hooked up. You saw me struggle with it for a little bit. That was not easy. The wire's like bending rebar. I mean, it's thick wire. I exaggerated a little bit the other day when I said it was 10 millimeter. It's actually 6 millimeter wire. But still, 6 millimeter wire is thick wire, and it's very hard to get it to do what you want it to do. And yeah, so I struggled with it a bit, but I got better connectors, and we got that all connected. So I did not get the wire up in the blocks here because those blocks are pretty solid. And I got the table full of the renovation stuff here. So we're going to push this to a little bit later. What I'll do is I'll have to drill a hole in there because the block is really solid, which it has a crack on it. It looks like it's going to fall, but it's really solid. So that we get the wire up, and in that area where you see the other wires, the thinner of the two wires there, it's going away because if you look, it curls and it comes right here, kind of jogs, comes across, and then down. This was the original wire that fed that lower area. And of course, 4-wire, not 5-wire. So, yeah. I'm trying to skate out the door without the cat coming out. So it went all the way. As you can see, it goes out the hole right there. Enjoy my coffee. Up and over. Back down. Then we'll come over here in the workshop. And then it goes up over that door, all the way across, and then if you look way out there, I'll walk you over there. It went through the wall right there. So that's no longer. That is a dead wire. And we'll coil all this wire up and we'll recycle it. Hopefully we'll get some cash for it because it's turning out to be a lot of wire. But then we got the wire, you saw me hook it up in here. And we still got the set of wires that's going to go for the compressor. And it runs through here. And let me go grab my coffee and we'll walk down to the lower barn where the rest of it is. And this was really key to, number one, making the electrical a lot safer. Because, yeah, the whole sharing neutral and ground, while it was acceptable back then, it's not acceptable now for a reason. So now it has a proper ground all the way to the box. And let me set my coffee down. So it now goes all the way to this box, all the way up, over and around, and it feeds the directly from the electrical box, the main electrical box. Something it also let me do, and this was part of it, and this is really key, is the balcony solar that's out here, right? So it's over here on this wall. So it's right up there. You can see the panels sticking off. Well, those panels, the inverter is a micro inverter that's mounted on the wall with the panels. If you saw the install, you saw that. Well, I had no way of communicating with it. And here they have very cool little setups. They're power line boxes. Thing is, the power line that went from here up there, it would not work on it because it had something to do with the neutral and the shared ground, I think. Well, guess what? It works now. So now I can see everything on the internet as to what this solar system is doing. Plus, it's safer, right? Plus, now I have Wi-Fi all down here, all the way down to the lower barns. My car is on the other side here, and my car is connected because it is an e-car. So now my car has access to the internet as well, which is another good thing because it allows me to do things, to see what the charge is and start and stop charge and stuff like that, all via the internet. And now it has a really good connection because the internet comes right here and it's Wi-Fi 6. So now my car connects and I can control it a little better and see it a little more real time because it has a SIM card built in, but it's really slow when you're sending it, to Opal to send it to the car versus it being on, a local Wi-Fi. So it's a little quicker. And also, this brings down power for The greenhouse we installed in June. Mama's down here. She's doing some greenhousing. But that power now, I'm going to add outlets for her and lights so that she has power down here. We're going to do some LEDs, and she's looking into the LED being like the grow lights, yeah, so that they're the right wavelength or whatever, that it helps the plants grow too. And so it lets us do that, right? And look, we got some beautiful sun. Maybe this solar will actually put out like 2 or 3 kilowatts today, because we're coming into solar period. But we got that all knocked out. So, you know, coming up in the next, the next phase of this electrical will be to tap that box, bring it up and over to the greenhouse over there, and to the water pump for our rainwater storage, so that we have good solid power for that. We're still in a toss-up as to what we're going to put on the standalone solar and what's going to go onto the main, like the house power. We'll work that all out, but we got this knocked out, right? It took a couple of days. The project's actually been going on for a long time, because you saw me set up that box, I don't know, months ago, right? Well, a little bit of ADHD. We kind of work here, work there, work everywhere. So that phase of the project is done. And yeah, we're going to wrap this video up, and I'll get it edited, get it out to you. But you know my motto: if you're thinking about family or you're thinking about friends, give them that WhatsApp or that WhatsApp. Reach out to them. Let them know you're thinking of them. They would love to hear from you just as much as you'd love to hear from them too. And until the next installment, auf Wiedersehen.